The Radio Ashford Feel Good Hour with Sam, Griffin and Nigel Jones. Get set for the weekend with a happier, yeah, whoa. Friday lunchtime from 12:30 on the Sam Griffin Show. Radio Ashford, hit on 7 and 1 FM or on your smart speaker.
Joining me is Nigel Jones, best-selling author of Walking Back to Happiness, leading life coach, certified hypnotherapist and creator of 9 kilometres by 9 a.m. We're going to unpack the how habits hook our brain, how to spot where a behavioural slips from harmless to harmful, and simple steps to break loops and build momentum. How are you?
I'm really good. It's great to be back.
It's great to have you back, as always. We always have a lot of fun. Great jingle.
I love it.
It's so good.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
Very Scooby-Doo. I love it. I was dancing along to it as it was playing. It's so good. Today we're going to be talking about habits.
Yep,
and
we are.
how we have them and we don't realise it.
Yes.
And how we can break them.
Yes.
And maybe the top ones that we kind of are listed. We're going to go through quite a few things to do. But what do we mean by addictive behaviour versus a bad habit? What is the difference between the two?
Okay, so let's start with the definition of a habit. It's doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's basically a behaviour that you do repeatedly. And some habits you're aware of, others you're not. Some are good and some are bad. So that's the definition of a habit.
Yeah.
If it gets out of control and starts to be bad for your health, then it's redefined as an addiction. And so an addiction is more like you got no control over it. It's sort of something you're compelled to do.
Yeah.
And if you try to stop, you can't.
Yeah.
And so you can see there's quite a big difference. Yeah. Almost like it's really a bad habit evolved into something you can't stop.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that most of us are addicted to something. And we might not even be aware that we are.
We were talking about this off air, that, we go through our lives with our routine and our choices that we make and don't even realise that we've made those, decisions to become addicted to something.
Yeah, so just a typical day, the psychology shows that over 60%, I think it's 65, 66% of the things that we do, everything we do, is habitual or is a habit.
Yeah.
So and it's controlled by the programs that are running in our subconscious mind. So you wake up in the morning, you put your slippers on, you go and brush your teeth, you have a shower, you put the kettle on, you have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, you put the radio on. Literally, you're not thinking about any of this.
Autopilot.
It's just autopilot habitual behavior. Yeah. And unfortunately, some things can slip into there which are not good for you.
Yeah.
And they can become bad habits.
Yeah. Which Ed Sheeran will be singing about very, very soon.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are the top 10 addictions or bad habits we have in the UK? This is really interesting.
Yeah. So when you say them, they become really obvious. But if we look at them, I mean, I don't think there's like an actual order of what's the worst thing that we do, because obviously it's subjective. But just listing them, alcohol's in there,
of course.
Cigarettes, vaping, coffee, exercise. People get addicted to exercise. Yeah. Food, gambling, pornography, prescription drugs. One of the big ones, which we'll come on to talk about, is mobile phones and doom scrolling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tanning salons.
Yeah. Yeah.
TV, shopping. Shopping's big.
Yes.
Video games, and one which tends to go unnoticed is work.
Yeah.
And being a workaholic, and there's a lot of us are doing longer hours than we did a few years back.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, because I am definitely in some of those.
Yeah,
Not so much now, because obviously you and I have been doing a lot of work on stuff that I do, but I would definitely say that food is a big thing for me, but that's something I've worked on with you and it's going really well.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, I must have something, so I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
That's my thought. That's how I would think about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I see a lot of clients, a lot of them have habit issues.
Yeah.
And it can really vary from things like nail biting or stuff like sort of like playing with your hair or sucking your thumb or even picking your nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like these are nasty things when you sort of like mention them. But they've become unaware of doing it sometimes. And they're all treatable though, and
of
it's really straightforward. And there's this great sort of Asian philosophy that says whatever you intend to do, and if you you'll do, and if you do it enough, it becomes a habit, and if that habit carries on, it becomes your character and your destiny.
Yeah.
So you can see the power of this stuff. If you actually carry on doing these habits and they become bad habits, they can control and ruin your life and the people around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to play some Ed Sheeran and Bad Habits next. We're going to come back and talk about why some are more addictive than others.
Yes.
We'll do that after this. Nigel is still with me. We are talking about habits and habit changes and addictions that we have that we don't even know we've got. Now, why can some habits be more addictive than others? Because some things can get really addictive very quickly without us really knowing about it. Yeah. But why is that?
There are a number of reasons for this. Probably the top one is how quickly you get the benefit. So if you can imagine like cigarettes or vaping, as soon as you inhale the nicotine, you get the hit from that immediately. Yeah. So that is, you know, almost like the highest reason why it becomes addictive. Alcohol is similar as well. In the first sip of alcohol will give you that sort of gushy, sort of relaxing feeling. But it's only really right at the beginning, and then it never comes back. You just chase it for the rest of the evening or the rest of your life in some cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's the speed of like which you get the benefit. The other one is also the unpredictability. So the reason why gambling machines are quite addictive is the fact that they don't always pay out.
No.
So if you put your money in and nothing happens, and then put it in the second time, and then you get a win, and then you don't win the next time, you keep going until you get the win. So that unpredictability brings you back. So that's a powerful thing as well. And I guess another one is negative reinforcement, which means that, you know, as soon as you take the drug or do the addiction, it solves something for you. So I might be stressed, but now, I feel relaxed. So it's actually given you like a benefit.
But
which
is
you
it
can see
though?
there. No,
that's the question.
So the mind tricks you into believing it is. So alcohol is a great one, for example. And you think that, this is relaxing me. It is probably nothing that relaxes you about alcohol. It actually, you know, it gives you sleepless nights. It gives you anxiety. But you believe because of that first sip, it's like, this is nice and relaxing. But really, it's just eating away at you. So a lot of the cures or the way you deal with habits is literally to stand outside yourself and take perspective on them and just say, why am I actually doing this?
You need to think about the impact it's having on your time, your finances, your body,
everything,
your family and those around you. You know, if you step out and look into that, that's a big realization about, you know, if you sat and wrote down how much you spend a week on coffees, or drinks or takeaways, whatever it might be, you'd be surprised how much you spend. You know, and where could that money go to?
So there's a great thing we do in coaching, whereby you pretend you've got two chairs. So you sit in the first chair as yourself. Let's say you drink a lot of coffee, and you say to yourself, well, you know, what my habit is, explain my habit to myself as you today, and then go and sit in another chair as someone who doesn't drink coffee and thinks coffee is a waste of money, and get them to actually write down all the things about coffee, and then all of a sudden you've got another perspective on it, and it's really powerful doing that, because you get two views, and it's only when you get that different perspective that you can actually change. What I was going to talk about was the habit loop.
So I was going to say to you, you know, how does the habit loop work, and how can we get out of it?
So all habits follow a habit loop, and there's three parts to it. So the first bit is what you call the trigger. The second bit is the habit itself, the routine that you do, and the third bit is the reason why you did it, the reward for doing it. So if we take drinking alcohol, for example, that has a number of triggers. So it could be a location, like you're in a pub, or it could be a time of day, or it could be the people around you. There's someone you know, every time you see them, you go drinking with them, so they trigger you into having a drink. So for me, for example, you know, 5 years ago when I used to drink alcohol, it would be walking into the kitchen and seeing the fridge at 6 o'clock in the evening. That would be my trigger to open the fridge door and
pour yourself a glass of wine.
Part two of the habit loop is do the routine, which is drink the drink. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I really believe that was relaxing me, which is part 3. So what you have to do is, to break a habit, is actually write down all your triggers. So let's say that the habit is drinking coffee. You'd write down, well, what times do I drink coffee? Well, I normally have one when I get up in the morning. I might have one mid-morning. I might have one mid-afternoon. I might have one in the evening. So you know when you're having them, and there'll be a reason why you're doing that. Yeah. It could be linked with, I believe that I need that to wake myself up. And so the trigger makes you do it. It makes you actually drink the coffee, with the perceived reward being relaxation. Now, if you sit in that other chair and look at and ask yourself, well, really, does coffee relax me?
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't. And you don't have to be Einstein to work out that it's really, really not going to relax you. It's actually, if anything, it's the complete opposite effect. So that's the way you break the habit loops, is you identify what your triggers are. So when you know what your triggers are, you're going to be ready for them. And if you know it's coming, then you're going to do something to stop it happening. Yeah. And the key is to actually switch the routine out. So let's say it's 6 o'clock and you reach for the fridge for a glass of wine. Rather than do that, go for a walk or read a book or do something else that will give you the reward of relaxation. Yeah. And if you do that enough, experts say that it's around about 30 days of doing something new that gets completely ingrained into your brain and becomes your new habit. Yeah. So the habit loop of 6 o'clock, open the fridge door, could be 6 o'clock, go for a walk, relax, as opposed to 6 o'clock, open fridge, drink wine, relax.
It's all just teaching the brain a new habits, isn't it?
Completely. And this is really, really important because, like I say, 65% of the things we do are habitual. And you can free so much more time up in your life by looking at the habits you've got. So just write them all down.
It's just kind of thinking out the box here, switching things up. So having decaffeinated coffee. Yeah. Having a non-alcoholic drink. So having an alcohol-free Guinness or an alcohol-free glass of wine. Yes. As a replacement. Yeah. Would that be a good start for some people that maybe are struggling to kind of just break that habit instantly? Yeah, definitely. Because obviously an alcohol-free zero drink is not going to be bad for you. No. It's not going to be. There's no alcohol in it. Yeah. And it's not going to have like the same addictive effect as alcohol does. When you drink alcohol, you get dehydrated, and so therefore you're coming back for more because you believe you're thirsty. Yeah. And you're also chasing a dopamine hit or an endorphin hit that you get from drinking it. And that doesn't happen with alcohol-free drinks. Yes, absolutely. And also you don't want to drink as many of them as either. You're not going to go on a sort of like 8-pint sort of night out on alcohol-free drinks. You'll have like 1 or 2. I think having, a healthy replacement that fits into your lifestyle, because obviously not everybody can fit in a walk. Not everyone can. And I'm just thinking of ways that other people can kind of start their journey of breaking free of these habits, if they find actually cold turkey is not the way for them, because if they've been doing it a long time, that's a long habit to break, isn't it? Yeah. Like you drank for a long, long time. Yeah, over 30 years. Yeah. Yeah. And so on day one, it is going to be different, but it's all about your mindset and your beliefs. So you have to go into it with a new you. Yeah. So it's changing that chair, sitting in another chair which says I'm a non-drinker or I'm a non-smoker or I don't drink coffee. Yeah. And what are the values of a person who's a non-smoker or a non-drinker or doesn't drink coffee, and live those values. Absolutely. So, and then, you'll get the old voice coming back, because if you've done something for 30 odd years, 20 years or however long it is, that hasn't gone away on day one. No, God, no. But the longer you go into the journey of the new you, the less that voice will be. And really at the end of the day, I looked at it as being like 2 wolves in your head. So one wolf was like, go on, have a drink, you deserve it. The other one was, you're doing really well, this is great, you're on day 35. Yeah. And if you feed that wolf, the old wolf, then it'll get bigger and bigger. But if you starve it and you don't listen to it, it'll go away. So it's be aware of the wolf that you feed, because that's the one that will actually win in the end. So feed the right one, feed the new you. Absolutely. We're going to come back after the news and talk about Go Sober this October, because I think that's important to touch on.
The Radio Ashford Feel Good Hour with Sam. happier you. Friday lunchtime from 12:30 on the Sam Griffin Show. Radio Ashford 107.1 FM or on your smart speaker.
I love it. I love it just so much. I was singing along there.
Great
Honestly,
jingle.
it's great jingle. Right, now we're talking about bad habits, addictions. Obviously,
Yeah.
this October and every October pretty much for the last few years is Stop Drinking this October.
That's right, yeah.
There's people out there that might be doing it already. And there's the people thinking, actually, we're halfway through October, can I do it? But let's talk about, are we drinking too much as a country, as the world?
Yeah.
Is it something that we still need to be really worried about?
The government regulations or advice is that we drink 14 units a week maximum.
But that's a lot.
It's a unit is 10 milliliters of alcohol. So if you put that into drink terms, 14 units a week is like having 6 pints of normal strength beer. And that's a week.
Yeah.
So it's
Maybe
less.
it's not so bad,
less than a
but-
pint a day.
Yeah.
And it's around about 7 small glasses of wine. So but if you drink that amount though, the amount of neat alcohol you'll have over the year is over 7 liters.
Yeah.
I mean it's and given that 2 mouthfuls of alcohol will blind you if you drunk it neat.
Neat, yeah.
So it depends how you frame it. Some people will drink 14 units as a starter on Friday night.
On Friday night, yeah. True,
And
absolutely.
others, they'll restrict it to that. And the figures show that there's the drinking is going down in the younger age groups. So 18 to 24-year-olds, almost 60% of them have not had a drink in the last year, and that's quite it's a big number.
And do you know what I think that might be? I think we had COVID,
Yes.
where people couldn't go out and socialise, and that obviously had a little bit of an impact. But I think also there are quite a few influencers on social media that don't drink.
Yeah, it's becoming more trendy.
So
not
it's
to
becoming
drink.
a trend,
Yeah.
and it seems to more be acceptable not to drink.
Yeah.
I know that my two don't drink a huge amount.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. I mean, it's obviously very expensive as well.
There's that too, yeah.
And with student loans and stuff, I mean, the students are now, they're coming out of university with £65,000-70,000 debt. So the days of like going to university
Pressures
and becoming
and-
hedonistic and drinking every day, some people still do that, but a lot of people, they're there. It's a business. I'm investing in my future because it's going to cost me £70,000. So I want to stay sharp.
Yeah.
But there's lots of things at play. But then if you look at the older group, like the 55 to 64 group and older, they're drinking the most. And I think it's like 80% have had a drink, and only 20% have not had a drink of that age group in the last year.
Wow.
So they're big numbers. But things like Go Sober This October by Macmillan are there to highlight the fact that alcohol can cause cancer. I mean, it's been identified as causing 7 types of cancer. But it's great. It's a great campaign to actually raise awareness of it.
And I think it's, if you want to give yourself a challenge, because I know there's lots of people out there like to do themselves a challenge to do a bit of fundraising, and if they can challenge themselves, like you say, if you can go a whole month without it, that's a habit change right there.
Completely.
A month is 30 days.
Yeah, and you find if you've done the month, and you're going to be in a really good position to actually do month 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of work with the charity Alcohol Change UK. I'm one of their community champions, and if you should check out their website, they've got this thing called the Try Dry app, because they're the charity behind Dry January.
Yeah.
But they obviously work all year round as well, so it's not just Dry January.
No.
So, but the Try Dry app is really good because you can download that, and if you're taking some time off drink, it'll actually give you a daily email. It'll show you how much you're saving, how much you're not spending on drink. Yeah, and it's really good. And there's and you're joining a community of other like-minded people as well who want to stop drinking.
Now, obviously, with that, the real world impacts of drinking is things like, you know, health, hospitals, and mortality. What is the impact as a whole like for us in a real world term?
I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, they're not very good. I mean, there's something like 30 million people in the UK drink. And you've got a percentage of those are what you call dependent drinkers as well. I think the latest figure is something like 600,000 people are what you'd call registered dependent drinkers.
Yeah, registered,
So it's probably higher than that.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the figures, you know, as I said earlier, the numbers are going down in the younger age group, but people are still drinking in the older groups, and it's things like Dry January and what we're in now, Go Sober this October, which are really good and really help people take a break. So I mean, what I would say is if you're going to take a break from alcohol, then get yourself a plan. And I've got, like, what I always say to clients is, like, there's this 7-step plan, and the first one is tell people about it. Tell your friends and family that you're going to stop for a month, and just out yourself and say, this is what I'm doing. So it sort of it removes a lot of stress from you when you tell other people that you're doing this. And then the second thing you can do is take alcohol out of your house. Just so it's not a temptation, it's not around, and maybe fill the house with zero options instead. So if you go to the fridge, there's a zero beer in there. And this, as you go, I mean, what we should do is put this 7-pointer on the website so you can download it. But it's things like pair up for treats. So if you're gonna have a drink, sort of reward swap it out. So rather than drink, what will I do instead? It might be go for a walk. So let's say you have 2 or 3 drinks a day, or you do drink on Friday night, then you plan a walk instead, plan something else in there. And change your scene as well, literally start doing different things. You've got to move away from what you used to do. I mean, that's really important, because if you take a break from alcohol and you still go down to the pub in the evening, or you hang around with people who are still drinking, and you go out with them and sit with them, then it's going to be difficult. I mean, there's an old saying that if you hang around the barber shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut.
Absolutely.
And so obviously don't hang around the barber shop if you're going to stop. You're going to stop drinking for a month, and then track your wins. Have a journal, write down like how well you slept, how much money you saved, how much more energy you got, how many steps you did today. So this is all, having this 7-point plan is really, really good. And I think, which is really important, is buddy up with someone who's also doing it.
Support's a really good thing.
And that's why these apps are good. So the one I'd highly recommend is the Try Dry app, which is from Alcohol Change UK. But that's really, really worth doing.
Yeah, I love it. We're going to get a song, and we're going to come back and talk about other bad habits. So Nigel, I think one of the most recent and more prolific addictions we have is things like phones and social media.
Yes.
It's taken over our lives, right? Or for most part.
Yeah, and some scary stats out recently within the last month show that usage of mobile phone screens is now higher than TV screens.
Wow.
So I think the latest figures are 4 hours 20 minutes per day online, and 3 hours 21 minutes on your phone, and that's the average.
Wow.
So that means every person like age 5 or over, because this is younger as well. I mean, kids age 6 have got phones. So you could effectively say that it's that's the average for every adult and child, over 5, 3 hours 20 minutes. So that means some people are doing over 12 hours.
And I think a lot of that is as well is that people work from their phones more. I know that I do.
I mean, it's, if you actually look at like the red flags on this, I mean, almost a lot of people have a problem with mobile phones. They're picking them up too on because they're always on there. Everything's on them, like their bank details. They've got to use it to pay for things. They use it for tickets. It's just like it becomes your life. It's a wallet, isn't it? Which you can't lose. So the red flags, which I think if you're moving into like that addiction side of it, they're things like, you pick the phone up within a few minutes of waking up, or it's the last thing you do at night, or you just, you wake up and it's actually in your bed with you because you've fallen asleep watching it.
Yeah.
So those are red flags. And then also, if you see yourself, again, step outside yourself and look down on what you're doing. You can see yourself sitting on the sofa at night just doom scrolling, which might have started as something to check an email. All of a sudden it's an hour later, and you're scrolling and it's hijacked everything.
I get that.
And if you're doing that late, it's going to ruin your sleep.
Yeah.
It's going to change your mood. It's going to sort of have a massive knock-on effect of other things you do, your relationships, the lot. And so those are some red flags. And another one is like hiding it, like lying about how much you use your phone. Oh, not me. No, I only do an hour a day. How many people do that? Exactly. Yeah. So I think those are the classic red flags to look out for.
Yeah.
But there's loads and loads of stuff you can do. You can switch your phone off at 7 o'clock in the evening or 8 o'clock. Don't take it into the bedroom with you. So that's a couple of easy
Basic
things to do straight away.
Yeah.
Another thing is like do some time boxing, whereby you say, right, well I look at my phone in the evening between 6 and 6:15.
Yeah.
Or 7 and 7:15, and I might do social media, and another time I'll do emails.
Now we've also kind of want to touch very quickly on things like being dedicated to work and being a workaholic, gaming, gambling as well, and food.
Yeah.
Where's the fine line here? Where do we know that we need some help?
So let's take work first, and I've got to be brief on all of these. So if you look at work and being a workaholic or working too much, the figures show there's something like 1.7 million workers in the UK in 2024 had some form of work-related ill health, and it's a lot of us are working over 55 hours a week.
Yeah.
Which and there's this problem between sort of knowing when to shut off, because you've got that phone in your pocket or that iPad's next to you, and there's work emails getting mixed up with personal emails and work calls with personal calls. So the red flags are things like you're working on the weekend, or you're working into the night, or you're sitting there checking your emails at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So you can start to see this. It's obvious, really. I mean, people know they are moving into like the addiction side of work. But there's things you can do for it. You can have like sort of deadlines. You can just say, well, right, I don't use my phone for work after a certain time, or on Friday, hard deadline. That's it. I'm shut off. I'm shut down now till Monday morning, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So there's stuff you can do. Yeah. So
absolutely. And the kind of thing with the gambling and gaming. Again, what can we look out for that? Yeah.
So gambling is big. Apparently there are something like just under 1.5 million people have some form of gambling addiction. That's just in the UK. And this is things like red flags for this, so like chasing losses. Like I've had a bet, can I win it back? That's the big one. It can affect your mood. If you're watching sport, you're always betting on it. In fact, you end up not watching the game at all. You're just looking for the score or the number of corners or whatever it is. So there's huge red flags there, and I think if you're doing it, you can see this. You are aware of what's going on there.
Why do we crave salty and sweet food? Why do our bodies think, I want that and that's good for me?
Well, it's like with alcohol. We trick ourselves into thinking it's a comfort. So when we talked about weight management in one of the previous shows, we talked about the fact that there are two types of hunger. Like there's physical hunger when you need to eat to survive or to replenish your body with energy. And then every other type of eating is what you would call emotional hunger.
Yeah.
And really eating sugary foods at sort of 9 o'clock in the evening, sitting on the sofa watching Netflix is not physical hunger.
Yeah.
And you're doing that, people tend to do that with a perception that they're relaxing or they're soothing themselves, or it's kind of an escapism in a way. It's frightening though. 65% of UK adults are overweight or obese.
It's a high percentage.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, if you look at globally, there's 2.5 billion people are overweight on the planet.
Yeah.
That's from the World Health Organization. So yeah, red flags, I guess, for overeating are like sitting there
continually shoveling
with a bag of chocolates in the evening, drinking lots of sugary drinks. Literally, you'll soon it will affect you, and you can see what will happen to you if you're doing this. So people could be working out. They could be like running 5-6 miles a day, but if they're eating like a couple of bags of chocolate every night, then there's just working against it. Yeah.
Let's think about how we can do quick check-ins. How do I know that my behaviour is harming me? And what's the first step of stepping out of these addictions?
I think the key thing to do is two things. Really, it's to make a list of your habits and just take a step outside yourself and really take an independent look on who you are and what you're doing. So and don't lie to yourself. Just be really honest and say, am I drinking too much coffee? Yes or no. And put it down on your list. Am I drinking too much alcohol? Yes or no. On your list, and get that list together. Then ask yourself these questions: Is the level of coffee that I'm drinking harmful to me, or is it harmful to people around me? And you can easily see it straight away if you're talking about alcohol. Is my alcohol intake is harmful to me? Is it affecting people around me? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then it really is time to actually say, well, right, this habit has moved into a bad habit and could, if I carry on doing it, end up as an addiction. So you've got the power now to actually say, well, I'm gonna take a 30-day break, and so go sober in October, or try dry January coming up. And if you can't do that, then arguably there is an addiction
There's something there.
Because if you can't stop for 30 days, then the answer is, well, why not? Is this, what control does this substance have over you? So those, and it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be cigarettes, vaping, cigarettes, whatever, whatever it is, sugary sweets and biscuits and something like that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, as always. I love these hours we have together. Now, obviously, we mentioned your book before, Walking Back to Happiness, which is your journey through stopping drinking alcohol, is available on Amazon. Also, you can listen to it via audio, which is what I do. Listen to it quite regularly. And if anyone wants to find out about Nigel's coaching and how he can support you, go to 9kilometersby9am.com, and then you'll find out more.
Yeah, 9kmby9am.com.
Love it. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, great to see you. We're doing creativity, I think.
Creativity next time. Looking forward to that one.